Got a loaded episode of AEW Dynamite this week. The show featured a blockbuster rematch between Bryan Danielson and Daniel Garcia, as well as a major return of Kenny Omega. Keelan King made their AEW return this week against Tony Storm. We also had CM Punk calling out Jon Moxley, and the duo will now wrestle in the title match next week on Dynamite, and that is what kicked off the show. Punk kicked it off and came down to the ring. He challenged Page to a ring match, however there was no response, so he went out to call Jon Moxley. Punk insinuated that Moxley couldn't even be the best guy in the Shield, calling him the third best. Punk also took shots at Moxley's friend Kingston. He called Eddie the third best he had wrestled and the second best Kingston. Punk then went on to challenge Moxley to a match at All Out. Punk added that Moxley wouldn't be the best John he'd beat in Chicago, referring to his win over Cena. Moxley then had heard enough and made his way down to the ring. Moxley said Punk's mouth was cashing checks his body couldn't cash. He added that Punk only came to AEW because he ran out of money. Punk and Mox then started trading blows as security officials came down trying to separate the two men. And yeah, this was very interesting promo. I had great lines from Punk and Moxley in reply to very short getting a match next week. I thought that'd be certain for All Out, but maybe but maybe we're getting Punk versus Page again. Who knows? It'll be intriguing to see where that one goes. I'm really not sure about that, but yeah, we'll have to see where that one goes. But just in terms of the promo itself and rumours that Punk was threatening to walk out of AEW and stuff like that, I don't know if it's work or not, but yeah, it certainly has created some extra intrigue. And yeah, in terms of the promo, I thought it was a really great way to start Dynamite. Bryan Danielson then took on Daniel Garcia. Danielson tried to take control early on as he wrestled Garcia down to the mat. Garcia went right off Danielson's leg with a knee bar, but Danielson forced him to break. Garcia then slapped Danielson across the face and pissed off Danielson, and the former WWE star dropped him with a strike across the jaw. Danielson then locked in a Romero special before striking Garcia in the back of the head. Garcia then hit back with a chop across the chest, but this just made the veteran laugh. Both men started trading strikes, so Garcia disrespectfully booted Danielson across the jaw again. Danielson then hit back with a series of nasty kicks, followed by a running boot in the corner. Garcia tried to break the chain of offense with an armbar, but Danielson broke free and took him down with a back suplex. Garcia then started to rain down elbow strikes across Danielson's chest. Garcia then hit Danielson with a devastating pile driver, which he followed up with Dragon Sleeper. Garcia ended up making Danielson pass out, winning the first fall, and there was no respite from Bryan as Daniel Garcia immediately went to work on him again and hit a nasty chop in the corner, followed by a drop kick. He then headed out to ringside and removed padding. He then hit Bryan Danielson with a DDT on the floor, and Danielson beat the count at 7 and got back in the ring. Garcia locked in the Dragon Sleeper once again, but Bryan rolled him up for the second count, even in the match. He then hit a German suplex off the top rope, followed by a shotgun missile drop kick. Danielson then followed up with the top rope so as he out to the ring side. Both men then went shoulder first into ring post before going down. Both beat the 10 count and got back in the ring. Garcia hit Danielson with whatever he had, but couldn't take him down. Danielson then hit back with a forearm, knocking Garcia off his feet immediately. Danielson booted Garcia across the chest repeatedly until he hit back with a locked-in Dragon Tamer. The former WWE champion then broke free and locked in a label lock. Garcia with the roll-up, forcing Danielson to break the hold. Garcia then hit back with Danielson's trademark running knee strike, but couldn't keep him down for the 3 count for his own move. Danielson then managed to lock in the label lock once more, forcing Garcia to tap out. Post-match, Danielson showed Garcia a lot of respect off the match, clapping to the youngster and urging fans to get on their feet. Danielson extended his hands towards Garcia, and Jericho ran down contra and attacked Danielson from behind. Garcia stopped Jericho from attacking Danielson and swatted him away. So yeah, very interesting. Maybe tension in the Jericho Appreciation Society already. But yeah, for me the main story of this match was just how flipping good it was. Yeah, 2 absolute technical masterminds really, you have to say. Garcia, he's just been elevated so much by this, even in defeat here, came out looking good, got fall over Danielson, and yeah, looked strong AF, and yeah, this was just absolutely brilliant. Quality wrestling, 8 out of 10 from me. Private Party were then backstage with the tag champs ahead of their title match on Rampage. Swerve told them to respect their elders as they wanted to learn something. Isaiah Cassidy then promised to take the titles home to New York before Tony Nese came down to the ring, but Jon Moxley took him out. Mox then went down to the ring, called out CM Punk, saying he wanted to settle who was the champion right away. As Punk came down to the ring, security came out to separate them, and Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta had to come down to finally pull Moxley away. Jericho was then backstage with Maynard and Parker. Jericho Marge Garcia started what side he's on, when Ricky Stevenson Steamboat walked up and told Jericho that Danielson would be a better mentor for Garcia. Andrade Parker tried to get him Ricky Steamboat's fate, but the legend took Parker out with a heart punch. Good to see Ricky Steamboat and just building up that storyline ever more. Looks like we're getting Danielson versus Jericho All Out, which would be interesting. But then it's time for Varsity Bombs versus Gun Club. Gun Club won in a matter of seconds after Colton hit Griff Garrison with a Colt at 45 before pinning him. As Billy Gunn congratulated his son, Stokely Hathaway appeared on stage. Colton Austin attacked their father Bryan, and the Acclaim ran out to make the save. More twists and turns, and I have no idea where this is going, at this point it's quite entertaining and intriguing, so no issues with it at all, and we'll have to see where it goes. 6 out of 10. Jungle Boy was out next and called Christian a coward. He said that he'd been trying to attack Christian for the last few weeks, but the veteran had done nothing about it. Jungle Boy then challenged him to a match at All Out. Cage came into the ring and told Jungle Boy he wants to get back together as a unit and promised to take him to the top for this time. Boy found going in for a hug and took Christian down and started running on him right and left. Christian almost got the better of the young star, but it wasn't to be. Jungle Boy stomped Christian's hand into the steel steps before smashing the back of his hand into the steps. And this was good stuff. We all knew there'd be like a fake attempt to get them reunited again, but Jungle Boy, I thought he'd maybe come across a bit of weakness around, but it's absolutely not the case. This is really, really good stuff, and it's building up to the match at All Out, which I'm sure is going to be an absolute banger. So yeah, like I say, no complaints with this at all, really. It was then time for Keenan King making her AEW return facing Toni Storm, and she was on top of the match as it started, but Storm soon got back in it, and the ladies went back and forth. King with an overhead suplex for a near fall. King then caught Toni Storm with a knee strike, sending her rolling out to the floor. She drove Storm back first into the barricade. Back in the ring, Storm headed to the top rope, but was cut off by King. Storm then hit back with a crossbody, and the finish of Storm hit a running hip attack, followed by a DDT for the W. And this gets a 6 out of 10 from me. Comfortable win for Toni Storm. Good to see Keenan King back. Toni Storm, it seems like she's going to be facing some of the roster at pay-per-view. Just building her up for that, really. I think this is all the exercise was to do. 6 out of 10 from me. It was in time for Andrade, Rush and Dragon Lee versus the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. He got a deafening welcome from the fans, Omega, and it's great to see him back. Nick Jackson and Dragon Lee started things off. Matt Jackson then tagged in and double team Dragon Lee. Omega then tagged in, and hit Lee with a double axe handle. Omega with a chop across Dragon Lee's chest before he rained him right in the corner, and did look a little rusty as he fell to hit springboard moonsault. He laughed it off and tagged in Matt Jackson. The Bucks double teamed Dragon Lee before tagging Omega back in. Jose caused a distraction on the apron as Rude hit Omega with a cheat shot from behind. Andrade then took control and tagged Rude in. Los Ignobles was then in control of the match, and Dragon Lee tagged in and was all over Omega. Andrade was back in, and Omega tried to hit back with a tag, but ended up with a massive 6-man suplex in the ring. After this, those Bucks and Omega took control. Nick Jackson then leapt out of ringside clearinghouse before Andrade was quickly getting control all over Matt. Things quickly broke down. Matt Jackson finally tagged out Dragon Lee's best efforts. Omega then came in on the hot tag and cleared house, delivering Dragon suplexes to all 3 opponents. Young Bucks then got in a groove and was all over Dragon Lee. It looked like Kenny Omega hurt his knee at this point. Jose then pulled Omega out of the ring before Jose and Rush held Omega on top of the barricade as Dragon Lee wiped him out. They rolled Omega into the ring but couldn't keep him down for a 3 count. Andrade hit Omega with a hammerlock DDT, but Matt Jackson broke up the count by pushing Rush into the duo. Omega then followed up with a V-trigger against Dragon Lee and hit Dragon Lee with a one-winged angel and picked up the win, and they advanced to the semi-finals. And on the whole, this was just brilliant stuff. So good to see Omega back. Finally, we all knew it was coming, but it's still just a magic moment to see him back. And I think he was a bit rusty, but even still, the match was just brilliant. The trios title match has just been made a lot more interesting with him. 8 out of 10, just absolutely brilliant stuff. Great stuff. Overall this week, AEW Dynamite gets an 8 out of 10 from me. Absolutely love this week's episode of Dynamite. Thought it was pretty much brilliant from start to finish. The banging match at the beginning between Danielson and Garcia, Punk Moxley promo, Omega's back. Not much more you can want from an episode of Dynamite. This was just a really, really good show. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and thoughts, comments, down below. If you want to continue daily wrestling news, subscribe to my channel, and I would be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.